Coming up, we're taking you to some of our favorite One Detroit places, from diners, restaurants, and cafes, from Royal Oak to Detroit to Dearborn.
The chili recipe that we use is the same recipe that we have been using since 1921.
We'll introduce you to the people behind the places where we produce One Detroit. I'm Christy McDonald. It is all coming up.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Support also provided by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first. The Cynthia and Etzel Ford Fund for Journalism at Detroit Public TV. The Detroit Journalism Engagement Fund, and by
Business Leaders for Michigan has 5 priorities to make Michigan a top 10 state. Achieve a balanced budget, cut long-term debt, fix our roads, improve all levels of education, further economic growth, plan for a stronger Michigan. How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television.
also brought to you by Ally, Nissan Foundation, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Hi there and welcome to One Detroit. I'm Christy McDonald. We are at Common Pub in Midtown on the campus of Wayne State University. Each week on One Detroit, we find a different place to do our show. And a lot of people ask us, how do you pick the places that you shoot the show at? When we decided to take our weekly show out of the studio and on the road, we started here at Common Pub. It was actually around the corner from our offices. We really liked the lunch here. We got to know the owners and the management, and we thought it would be great to share the places that we go to with our One Detroit viewers. So our first show was here at Common Pub, and we celebrated the start of One Detroit. Then we started sharing with each other a few ideas of where we could go next, like on the east side at the Red Crown, at Beacon Park in Detroit, Macomb Community College, the Detroit Riverfront, Black Lotus in Clawson, Great Lakes Coffee in Midtown, the beautiful Fisher Building, and the list goes on. Well, we really enjoyed meeting all of the amazing small business owners with interesting stories of how they started their places, and we said, hey, that's a show. So this show is a behind-the-scenes look at just a few of the great places and people who have been gracious enough to have all of us and all of our camera equipment for a day of One Detroit production. We hit a lot of coffee shops on One Detroit. So many unique spaces and interesting conversation, and bottomless cups of coffee. That's a must for me. Nolan doesn't drink coffee, though. We're still shaking our head about that one. You don't drink coffee? Nolan, but how do you keep going? Like, what's the secret then?
I don't want to go too hard.
But we stopped into the Narrowway Cafe on Livernois, along the Avenue of Fashion, that's on the city's west side, and met up with General Manager Sabrina Swain. So Sabrina, you guys have been open for over a year now on the Avenue of Fashion. What has the change been like here?
It has been awesome. It has truly been an adventure, first of all, becoming a new business owner, opening up on the Avenue of Fashion, but also just seeing all the changes and everything that's going on along the Avenue of Fashion as well as in the city of Detroit. It feels like family here, it feels like home, and making a place in the community.
I think, yeah, really connections with people who live nearby. And what are they telling you when they're coming in here?
That's actually funny that you asked that. We for sure pride ourselves in having a wonderful product, but one of the things that we reached out to doing is providing a stress-free environment. That kind of is our whole premise here. And so it's awesome that without even saying that, a lot of times customers come in and the first thing they say is, oh my goodness, I love this place. I love the atmosphere, I love the environment, I love the ambiance. I can sit here for hours and just feel so relaxed. And that's exactly what we want to provide. for the community.
One thing you kind of alluded to that wasn't very stress-free is being a small business owner and taking the leap and opening up a business. What has that been like for you, and what are some of the challenges that I think that you would pass along to other people who are looking to do the same thing that you're doing?
Well, I would say that, as you mentioned, it is somewhat stressful opening up a brand new business, but I would definitely say, at least for me and in my experience, we started at Straight Gate Church, and it started off being a ministry. And so that's what we set out to do is, we're sharing love to our congregation, and everything went well. We want to do that same thing for the community. And so it's wonderful just being able to be even more so in the community, seeing the faces, sharing that love, providing a wonderful environment for people to come to. As far as the stress behind it, take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time and step back and just be grateful for the things that are happening right. Everything is a learning experience. You can't look at anything as being a negative. And we're just learning as we go, even when it comes to hiring new people, making relationships with the existing business owners. Everything is just a matter of community. It's a matter of sharing love, creating family, and that's kind of the way we see it. We don't see anything as a competition. Everything is just making relationships.
How would you describe how the Avenue of Fashion has changed and a little bit of the change that's happened in the last couple of years?
There is a lot of expansion going on. Definitely in the city of Detroit, as people see downtown with construction and just so many different companies and businesses that have been opening up. But we love to see that that is branching out into the communities and not just downtown now. We love that people are here coming from the community, but we want to make sure that everybody else is feeling safe and feeling that they can walk around with their families, with their kids. We also see other companies that are downtown or in Midtown opening up their second location over on the Avenue of Fashion, which is awesome. So it's just, again, providing more community for the residents that are here, but also bringing, helping the economics and bringing more people into the area as well.
Our next stop is Parks and Rec Diner. It's in the historic Gar building in Detroit. Seriously good eats. And if you look closely, you can find One Detroit producer Bill Kubota having lunch in the background. Yep, there he is. I had a great conversation with the general manager, Giovanni Mansilla, about the place and the Detroit restaurant scene. Did you ever think that you'd be directing culinary services in a castle like the Gar building?
Never, especially the Gar building, because I remember it when it was all boarded up windows and really scary looking. So being down here now is pretty fantastic, especially with how beautiful the city is and the park across the street.
So this building was built back in the late 1800s, and it was for Civil War veterans.
Yeah, so it was, construction started in 1896, and it was funded by the Grand Army of the Republic for this to be a meeting hall for Civil War veterans. It was, the first floor was all retail shops, and then as you went up, it was just activities for them. The first ever elevator installed in the city of Detroit was actually here.
Was it really?
Yes, because a lot of them, they were lost limbs in the war, so to get up to the plays that were happening on the fourth floor,
oh my gosh,
they rode the elevator.
So, but then it was in the 1900s, mid-1900s that things started to change.
In the 1930s, we saw a little bit of a shift because, unfortunately, the guys from the Civil War were starting to pass on. So they turned ownership of the building over to the city of Detroit, and it became the Department of Parks and Recreation.
So that's why this is Parks and Rec.
Yeah, Parks and Rec. That's the original sign behind us right there.
That's very cool. And so then, so Parks and Rec and Republic opened both in 2015. And because it's a historic building, you had to have public space? Is that what it was?
So the original deed from 1899 states that since this was a Civil War memorial, that the first floor always had to be open to the public. Which is why the owners who had never been in restaurants before wanted to make sure that it was something that honored the history of the building and the concepts matched.
It's a really, really unique space, and so now you guys have been open for a number of years. What kind of changes have you seen among people coming in and out and enjoying the restaurants?
Well, when the building was transitioned at first, there wasn't a park. All of the nice lots that you see down here in the district neighborhood, those were gravel lots. Yeah, the whole area is really just spruced up in its entirety. It's a really nice place to be now.
You know what I think is really interesting about watching the restaurant scene grow here in Detroit is the opportunity for work. And a lot of people, in either they're going into culinary arts or going to a lot of the local programs, that there's opportunity to be able to learn in a lot of these kitchens.
Yeah, as far as culinarians go, this is the perfect time. I don't think that the restaurant scene in Metro Detroit has ever had so many great opportunities. You learn a lot of valuable skills as a server in the hospitality industry, and it's definitely a great way to fund your schooling. I've seen over my career hundreds of people kind of put themselves through school that way.
Yeah, and so we're all kind of watching, I think, the Detroit restaurant scene change, and change rapidly. You're seeing a lot of new,
absolutely.
different restaurants come in, high-end occasion restaurants, very specifically tailored restaurants. What do you make of what you're seeing?
It's a great thing for us as a city because it's giving us more options, right? As far as the culinary scene in Detroit goes, once upon a time when Republic opened up, there was 3 nice restaurants to go to if you were having a special occasion or you were going to see a show downtown. Now you have a myriad of selections based on your personal tastes and preferences. So it's healthy competition and something that we embrace. Overall, I think we've definitely established both concepts to be the best at what they do. We want to make sure that we're working with all local produce, local farmers as much as we possibly can, and the quality of the product comes through in the final vision of the chef. Our menus rotate seasonally, so it's really about making sure that we are giving our guests the best possible experience by following what they want. And we're out here with them, getting their feedback every day. It's how we challenge ourselves and stay current, stay relevant.
Detroit is full of great Coneys. We all know that. And we spent the day hanging out at Red Hot's in Highland Park. They truly treat you like family. Our whole One Detroit crew ate lunch here, including Nolan and Steven, who ate while I was shooting the opening scenes. Thanks a lot, guys. I had a great time with owner Richard Harlan, who still wouldn't share his family recipe for his chili.
The chili recipe that we use is the same recipe that we have been using since 1921. We still make it in-house.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't tell you who actually came up with that recipe because it's not really a Greek food. Greeks owned restaurants back then.
How long has Red Hot's Coney Island in Highland Park been open, Richard?
We've been in the same spot and we've been open since 1921. And how we got started, my great aunt and uncle, or my uncle I should say, came here in about 1914. He could speak 7 different languages. He worked at Ford Motor Company, and what his job was is to tell people from different countries what to do or how to do their job. And after about 4 years, he went back to Greece, got his wife, and they opened the Coney Island. But the actual recipe, I wish I knew. It still puzzles me to this day.
About where it came from, but do you have it written down somewhere?
Well, now my daughter...
No, the answer to that was no. It was always in his head for many, many years. Nobody else knew how to make the chili recipe. And people would tease us, Rich, you didn't even tell your wife how to make it? And I says, no, he never did tell me. And so finally last year, our daughter learned how to make it. She made him stop at every ingredient and measure it because needless to say, he doesn't measure.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, huh?
Yeah.
She's weighing everything.
Yeah.
I said, come on, this is taking too long.
Yeah, it's a 6-hour process as it is, and she was stopping him to measure everything, but yeah, now she knows.
It's delicious. So describe what I just had to eat.
What we make is, it's ground chuck. We use real onion and real garlic, no powder stuff. We use no coloring, we use no preservatives, so everything you're eating is all natural.
How would you guys describe Detroiters' love affair with Coney's?
It's crazy.
Oh, it is crazy, because they will come in and there's a lot of people that naturally don't know about us. And they go to some of the more popular Coney's. And so one of their friends might bring them in here and say, okay, I'm a diehard fan of
Whatever.
whoever. And
Once I get them in
Once
here,
they're
I
here,
got them. I lock 'em right
once
in.
they're here.
You got me for sure.
I got 'em.
Yeah, for sure, because it's a whole different taste, and everybody tries to guess what's in there, and
You'll never tell.
Never
That's
tell.
all right. What's it like working together?
I stay back there, she stays out here, and we got a nice relationship.
it's not bad. He about 20 years ago, he's one of our waitresses left. So he says, "Why don't you just come down for a couple of weeks until I find somebody?" So I don't think he looked very hard because I'm still here 20 years
Gonna say
later.
20 years later.
Yeah, and he's the boss here, so I let him think. And I'm the boss at home, so it works out just fine.
Yeah, you know what they say, happy wife, happy life.
What's it like? And talk to me about the people that you know who come in here. This is a community.
It's like family.
You know,
Honestly.
you know everyone.
Everybody is family.
people?
Yeah.
These people that came in here watched me grow up when I was 14. They all watched me play ball and stuff in different sports. They used to come to the schools. And then when I got married and started having a family, they even started coming to watch my kids play sports and stuff.
We have up to, 4 generations of
Oh.
families come in? You know, Rich's theory always has been if he's not going to serve it to his family, he's not going to serve it to the customers. Sometimes people want price over quality, but
We try to keep it
we're sticking
low.
with quality.
Probably our most unique coffee stop was Kawa House in Dearborn. Qawah is the Arabic word for coffee that originated in the country of Yemen. It is rich, served many ways with cream and spices, and we couldn't leave without tasting a Yemeni pastry called sabaya. Well, our conversation with owner Ibrahim Al-Hasbani was more than about coffee, but bringing understanding of what is happening in his home country of Yemen and sharing it with everyone who walks through the doors.
What does Qawah mean in Yemeni?
Qahwa means coffee, so this is the first word they use it for coffee.
A lot of people don't realize that Yemen is a place where coffee originated. A lot of people think of South America first off.
Exactly, a lot of people they think that that's why my job starts from here. It's not just a business. We try to educate the people, tell them a story about where we come from and our coffee story, why Yemeni coffee is different, why Yemeni coffee is the best, about people in Yemen, about the situation in Yemen, our typical bridge between Yemen and the United States.
So tell me, why is Yemen coffee different than the coffee that people are getting at corner coffee shops around here?
Of course, quality. That's why Yemeni has a full flavor of, different, like chocolate, and fruity, mango, different kind of flavor on it. You can taste it when you drink it. And it's fresh and organic, and they still use the old style for grown coffee.
So you have started to kind of, I guess, get a following of people. You said that people are, you're open till 11 o'clock at night. People are coming in here more and more. What are they telling you about experiencing Yemeni coffee if they've never experienced it before?
They love the coffee, they love the experience. They try something different. That's why we bring it with the different way, with the different style, so they can try different things. You want to come here, you want to enjoy the coffee. That's why when I give you a small cup, you try to enjoy it sip by sip.
Would you say that people enjoy the more infused flavors? Like I had some with cream and cardamom, and that people haven't really experienced that before.
Yeah, that's why here we do everything fresh. We roast the coffee, we grind the coffee here fresh, so we also add some spices on it, like cardamom, like ginger, like cinnamon, to give you a different style, different taste.
What's the perfect way to enjoy a Yemeni cup of coffee with pastry? Because I have to have some kind of pastry when I am drinking coffee.
The best way is up to you how you drink usually your coffee. You can do with sabaya.
And what is sabaya?
Sabaya is layers of bread with a butter inside, and it's like 40 layers of it. It's just very, very thin, and they add also butter.
You had
on
me
it.
at butter.
That's the only thing.
So I'll just stop right there.
But it's just
Perfect.
really good. Yeah.
It's really good. What has this experience been for you in terms of opening a small business, bringing your passion, and also trying to educate people about where you're from and your culture and what is happening over in Yemen right now?
It's really a good experience for me, actually. Especially with a great customer, with a great community here. People, they come from everywhere. It touched my heart. I know I did something good when I see all these people, they I mean, step out with a big smile, with happiness on their face. That's why it's make me feel proud of myself, proud of my country, proud of what I did in my life, because I want to send message for everyone. Yemen is not just a place for fight, it's not a place for war, it's not a place for crazy stuff. We can do this to stop the war over there, so we can save a lot of lives over there. People die, people get killed from hunger, they don't have food, they're starving over there. That's why we need to send this message from good experience. People think when they see only the sad face of Yemen, they send message. It's not. You can see the good face of Yemen, and you can send message through it. That's why we tell the people, we are a good people, we are a good country. At least you start your day with a big smile because of the coffee.
Our last stop takes us to Royal Oak and a comfy spot in bustling downtown called Goldfish Tea. Yes, I'm an admitted coffee addict, and tea can be a little intimidating, but General Manager Kent Alverson gave us some Tea 101 and talked about why this 10-year-old tea room offers something a little special compared to the coffee shops on every corner.
We have over 100 teas on the menu at Goldfish at any given time. So we have a variety anywhere from green to black. We have a lot of herbal teas as well for people looking to avoid that caffeine.
Right.
I've brought out 3 teas to kind of represent some of the teas that we have here. I have a green tea, an oolong tea, and a black tea.
So what are the differences between the 3?
So mainly the differences in how the tea is processed. Green tea you can consider your least processed tea. Generally, it is either slightly roasted or slightly steamed versus a black tea, which is heavily oxidized as a technical term, but basically it just means it's been processed for longer, so it gets that darker color to it.
Yeah, a little bit in intensity. All right, so when you go ahead and you go ahead and say, all right, I'm feeling this kind of way today, and this is the kind of tea that I would choose. You help people kind of steer there. You help people out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have such an imposing menu to some people for their first time
it's
here.
It's a little intimidating, right?
Yeah, that we love walking through. You know, we can bring teas up for people to smell, look at. I think that's the easiest way to kind of get a feel for, and then of course trying it is the ultimate.
All right, so let's start here.
Sure.
How would we go about the process?
Sure. So this is green tea. This is a tea called Kasyun. It's from the Shiga province, which is actually the sister prefecture to Michigan. So it's like the sister state to Michigan.
Oh, really? That's nice. It's really light.
So it's going to taste a bit grassier, but it also has a really beautiful flavor to it.
That's very, very nice. All right, move us on to the next one. What do we have?
So the second tea is an oolong. This is Tea Guanyan. It's from China. The thing you'll notice about oolongs is that most of them are rolled. So that's an extra process they do for those, where they lock in certain flavors with that.
All right, cheers. It's a little bit of a deeper flavor. I think I like the green tea a little bit better on this. So that's good though. That's good.
So our final tea is a black tea, and when most people think of black teas, you might be thinking of some of the more mass-produced teas, which generally are grown in India in a lower grade tea leaf. This particular one is not as dark, so not roasted quite as much as you might see in your English breakfast or something like that. It's a really high quality leaf. The larger the leaf generally with the black teas, the higher the quality.
Okay. Oh, I really like that. That's lovely. You've been open for now how many years?
Goldfish has been here for about 10 years.
For about 10 years. Have you seen clientele kind of change, or would you say that tea is picking up in more popularity, even though it's been around for thousands of years?
Right. Yeah, no, I think in the United States it definitely has picked up in popularity. A lot of people are continually discovering it though, so that's what's great is, people say, well, I like coffee, but I don't like the jittery feeling it gives me when I drink it. Well, tea releases the caffeine a bit more slowly, and most tea doesn't have quite the level of caffeine as coffee. So you can do extra steepings on it, a second, a third steeping. That's the other great thing about tea. And each one tastes different. So a lot of teas actually taste better on the second or third steeping. So it's worth sitting down, enjoying the tea, and trying the different steepings.
Well, thanks so much for having us. So now I feel like I know a little bit more about tea. Would you tell people, don't be intimidated by tea?
Yes, do not be intimidated.
All right, now we're busy working on our next list of places One Detroit is heading to. So if you have a favorite spot, a park, restaurant, diner, anything, tell us about it. And maybe you'll see the next One Detroit in your hometown. Find us at DetroitPBS.org. And of course, a special thanks to Common Pub for having us. I'm Christy McDonald. We'll see you next time on One Detroit.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, Craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Support also provided by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first. The Cynthia and Etzel Ford Fund for Journalism at Detroit Public TV. The Detroit Journalism Engagement Fund, and by
Business Leaders for Michigan has 5 priorities to make Michigan a top 10 state. Achieve a balanced budget, cut long-term debt, fix our roads, improve all levels of education, further economic growth, plan for a stronger Michigan. How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television.
Also brought to you by Ally, Nissan Foundation, and viewers like you. Thank you.